There we go. I was
Thank
able
you.
I was able to do it for you. Okay. All right. So this discussion or presentation, I randomly just kind of put it together. I really wanted to talk about self-care, both for women and men, but I guess more heavily emphasized for women. And the reason why I wanted to do it and have this discussion was because I saw a Instagram post about the dysregulated mom, and how we can often feel very irritated and triggered just because we're constantly being pulled at and tugged at in many different directions, having a lot of things to do. And so I will be discussing the 5 reasons why a CBD hemp regimen should be implemented into somebody's health self-care everyday routine, kind of like a multivitamin practice. So just as an introduction, my name is Brianna Flores. I'm a physician assistant. I also stay at home and I work from home. I'm a Green Compass advocate, and I've been working in traditional medicine, Western medicine for 5 years. But my passion is integrative medicine, which is a combination of regular medicine and functional medicine, which is more of the holistic approach. So utilizing acupuncture and chiropractic, aromatherapy, CBD, more on the natural side of things in order to help optimize your health. So that's where my passion truly, truly lies. And that's why I fell in love with Green Compass and their company. So that's kind of my background. I am married, I'm 30, I have a daughter. She's almost 2. But why Green Compass CBD is different than other CBDs on the market. I was at Sprouts the other day. I saw CBD tea, nuts, coffee, gummies. Like, it's definitely starting to become more popular. But in regards of understanding the product and what you're putting into your body, I think is so, so important. The supplement market is not regulated. So that's always something that I'm like, can I trust this product? And I like to investigate that. And so whenever somebody is going to be given a medication or taking a supplement, they should always know both the pros and cons of ingesting that. And so Green Compass is a family-owned business. The owner, Meredith Cook, was going through like postpartum mental health issues, and her, she kind of got exhausted essentially of the Western medicine approach, and they weren't really finding a solution to helping her. So her brother was like, hey, you should try CBD. She was like, okay, possibly, but there's not a lot of like healthy, clean CBDs out there. And so long story short, they ended up just cultivating and teaming up with 6th-generation farmers and making their own CBD, growing their own CBD in North Carolina. So this Hemp Flower CBD is grown here in the United States. It's the only USDA organic certified in the direct sales market CBD. Currently, they have control from when they're growing the hemp flower all the way until the product gets packaged. Every item has a QR code that is scannable at the bottom, pulls up a lab certified test for heavy metals, pesticides, and herbicides, which are 3 things that are so, so important to not be consuming. And so for me, when I heard that it had both of those, boxes checked, essentially, I was like, okay, this is in alignment with what I am already doing every day in my life. And so yeah, that third-party testing it just makes me feel safe when I'm ingesting and putting it in my body. The other thing is they are only extracting the CBD or the cannabinoid from the hemp flower. They're not getting it from the entire plant. And the reason for that is because within the hemp flower, that's where the majority of the CBD, the cannabinoids, are concentrated. And so they want only the good stuff, right? They're not concerned about utilizing the whole plant. And that's actually a more expensive approach, but it's going to yield a higher quality of hemp flower extract. Then the next part is how they actually extract the cannabinoids from the flower. They do it via CO2 extraction, which I never really liked chemistry in tradition, like in my education or whatnot, but I do know. So I don't know like the logistics behind it, but I do know that it's a cleaner method opposed to using a very harsh alcohol solvent in order to get the stuff out of the plant. So again, they're very transparent with what they're doing from the farming side of it all the way until the packaging side of it. So if someone's like, hey, I'm interested in CBD, I've taken it in the past, but had, really bad reaction to it, or I just didn't like how it made me feel or whatever, I would encourage that individual to give Green Compass a try because, like I said, they have just so much transparency along with the product. So I've been talking about hemp. I've been talking about cannabinoids. Like, what is that? So hemp is a plant. Okay. In particular, it's cannabis sativa that Green Compass is utilizing and that they're growing. And so this is different from the marijuana plant. It's essentially from the same family, but this is only going to have 0.3% of THC, which is the federally regulated limit of it. We have full spectrum and broad spectrum. Full is going to have that 0.3%. The broad is not going to have any THC. The jellies as well, they don't have any THC within them. So if someone's like, well, I get drug tested for work, then you're going to want to stick to the broad. You're going to want to stick to the nano jellies. So that's when I'm saying cannabinoids. There's a different type of cannabinoids within the hemp flower. There's CBD. That's probably the most common and talked about. There's CBN, there's CBG, and then there's THC. These products are not going to make you high. They're not going to give you that psychoactive head change, nothing like that. All that they're trying to do is to rebalance your endocannabinoid system. And I'll go into that a little bit more. So these cannabinoids, which are found in the hemp flower, they're naturally occurring within our body. When we exercise, when we breastfeed, when we eat some like dark chocolate, our body is naturally producing these cannabinoids, which then go in and bind to our endocannabinoid system, which anything with a spine has an endocannabinoid system. And they're binding to that endocannabinoid system and promoting balance and homeostasis. So whether that's decreasing stress, anxiety, pain, nervousness, anything like that, that's what they're doing. But the issue is that if we naturally make them, then why do I need to supplement within? Well, that's because environmental toxins and stress dysregulate our endocannabinoid system, and our body is no longer able to sustain the balance, essentially. So the CBD, like I said, is one of many cannabinoids, but that one in particular helps decrease stress, anxiety, nausea, and pain within your body. So that CBD regimen that I'm talking about implementing into your self-care, it's coming. So just hang tight. But going back to always knowing what you're ingesting and putting into your body, I can't stress that enough. I oftentimes will get people say, well, I've been taking this one from Amazon. And I'm like, okay, let me look it up. Like, let me look in a third-party testing site that I have access to because I paid to have access to it. And I'm going to look that supplement up to see what actually yielded when they tested it. And so that's kind of like the nitty gritty within the supplement market. But I love that Green Compass, you don't have to do that. They're transparent from the beginning. And like I said, every single product has that QR code on the bottom. So the 5 reasons why, okay, a CBD daily regimen is so important within self-care. Okay. Self-care is something that I feel like is more of a millennial or maybe a Gen Z type of thing. I don't think it was stressed too much when my mom was raising us and whatnot. And it definitely should have been, because I think in order to take care of your children and to take care of your partner or your parents or to take care of anybody, you have to put yourself you have to care for yourself to some capacity, because there's going to be a limit to that, right? We give, and then we're like, oh, I feel so depleted. I don't have anything else to give, right? So that's why, implementing that everyday CBD regimen, self-care, is going to be so important. So reason number one is because if we are working from a place of stress and anxiety, you're not going to be a happy person. You're not going to feel happy inside, and you're not going to be happy to others, right? So the CBD is going to decrease that stress and that anxiety to some degree. Obviously, it depends on dose, it depends on the delivery mechanism and whatnot. But even having, one jelly in the morning, one jelly at night, guaranteed you're going to feel the difference of decrease in stress and decrease in anxiety within your body. Why? Because when we are chronically stressed or chronically anxious, we're just releasing cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that our adrenal gland secretes when we are in our fight or flight mode. Okay, it's like, I'm not concerned about anything, I'm in danger. And so what ends up happening when that constant cortisol is being secreted within our body, we are storing so much fat. And that's awful. That's not good, right? We want to store fat, but only when we need to, not chronically all day, every day. And furthermore, when we're chronically releasing that cortisol, it's just chronic inflammation. And when we are in a state of low-grade chronic inflammation, that is going to increase your chances of developing a chronic disease. So reason number two that you need to have a daily CBD regimen is it is immuno supportive. So opposed to damaging your immune system, it's going to support your immune system. And the reason it does that is because, going back to that endocannabinoid system that we have from the top of our head all the way down to our toes, it's in every single organ system of our body. The CBD is going to go in and promote balance and homeostasis to those systems. And if the immune system is highly, highly concentrated, it's about 70 to 80% concentrated within our gut. And that's where a lot of the CB1 and the CB2 receptor sites are. They're going to go in and really just balance our immune system. Most people are walking around with a very dysregulated immune system. When this is dysregulated, the individual is catching colds all the time. The individual, having chronic ear infections, sinus infections, gastrointestinal issues, right? So when we get to a place of immune balance, which is what CBD can aid in, that's optimal. Reason number three, what it can help with if you are practicing this and doing it and staying consistent with it every single day, is it's going to decrease pain within your body. So going back to balance, homeostasis, going back to inflammation, going back to stress and anxiety, all of those things are going to put your body in a state where you're just not feeling well, and your body is not concerned about anything else. When you feel something, you're going to feel it. Why? Because you're inflamed. And so the CBD is able to, right, balance, restore, bring everything. It's working on multiple systems within your body. When one system is off, then that means another system has to pick up the slack, right? And we want to bring all of that back into balance. And so by doing so, if you're really, really inflamed, you're going to feel pain in areas of your body, whether that's in your neck, your head, joints, knees, wherever it may be. And that's one of the ways that I knew that my body was dysregulated, was I was having chronic neck and headaches, as well as digestive issues. So CBD can also aid in decreasing pain in regards to digestive issues as well. So reason number four is, so going back to how there's different types of cannabinoids, CBN is another one. So within the oils and the nanojellies, it's CBD. CBN is in the sleep nanojellies, which is a sleep aid essentially. That's going to help you hit those really deep REM sleep cycles. So the majority of us, if you're not going to bed before 11 p.m., you're probably not even getting into that cycle. And if you are, you're probably only spending, minutes within it, which is not great. Our body needs sleep. Everybody needs a different amount of hours. Some people can function really well on 6 hours, 7, 8, I'm probably more on like the 9 hours spectrum. But if you're not getting adequate sleep, going back to how everything is connected, everything is related, right? You're going to be increased irritability, increased anxiety, right? Decreased focus, decreased energy. So we want to optimize your sleep by having this every single day, staying consistent with it. That way you can have improved energy. You can have really sharp focus in the tasks that you are doing and not thinking about a million different things, never really getting fully done with one thing. And then the less irritability. And that was the part for me that I was like, I need this because I struggle with irritability. I think it's probably one of my weaknesses, but at the end of the day, we all have them, and identifying them and being like, okay, what do I need? Like, yeah, I know that I need to be in God's word first thing in the morning, but I also need CBD in order to help me not be so irritable and on edge. And then reason number 5 that having a daily CBD regimen is so important is that CBG. So we talked about CBD, we talked about CBN, and then now I'm talking about CBG. CBG is another type of cannabinoid. This is in our collagen peptides, and what this one specifically does is really helping to strengthen connective tissue within the body. And it's really helping your joints, your muscles. It's great for, athletes or people who work out really intensely to help recover from their workouts quicker. But yeah, that cannabinoid is specifically very supportive for connective tissue, joints, and muscles, which I think is important for everybody. But I feel like probably the population where it's really, really stressed is for postmenopausal women, because after we go through menopause, obviously our estrogen depletes, and estrogen is what is very protective for our bone density. And that's why they're always like, are you taking your calcium? Are you taking your magnesium? And so taking a really good high quality collagen is super, super important, I feel, for postmenopausal women, like above everyone. But yeah, so those are the 5 reasons why implementing a CBD product to whatever is your jam. Currently, I personally have been liking either a jelly in the morning. Actually, I like a jelly before bed, and then I like a tincture in the morning. I feel like the tincture in the morning, because the jelly has sugar in it, and sometimes I like to fast. So this is the better option for me. But doing those 2, I took one oil tincture of the 750 milligram full spectrum last night, and I was like blown away at how well I slept. So yeah, it's obviously different for everybody, kind of trial and error. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I would love to answer them. If not, thank you so much for listening in. And you guys can like unmute yourself or even put it in the chat, whatever you may like. I'll go ahead and stop recording though.